And it's interesting to think of how, one person whom we call the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, Gautama Buddha, who was not the first Buddha, by the way. There were a lot of Buddhas before, and there have been after, but he was the one who really became the sort of the Jesus Christ moment of the East, of saying there's a way to end suffering, not by stopping the suffering, but to understand what it is and to work with it. It's a liberation of the mind. The Dalai Lama, the rightful spiritual head of Tibet, I know that's going to offend some Chinese people out there, but traditionally, we're gonna say, says that Buddhism is not a science, it's not a religion. I'm sorry, it's not a philosophy or a religion. It's a science of the mind, and I always like that subtlety, because that is exactly what it is. So when they tried to bring in Buddhism, it didn't work really well. In fact, there were a lot of storms that stopped the progression of the very first Buddhist teachers into the country, and also, you have to remember that they were dealing with ancient practices and rituals that were very old. I mean, they're thinking about 18,000 years old, if not older, right? So they were trying to get these people in there to teach the local population about Buddhism, about, practicing Buddhism and everything. And the storms were absolutely horrible and awful. So they asked a very interesting character who maybe really did exist. Of course, we don't know how close to the details it is, but his name is Padmasambhava, who came a little bit, if you want, more from the Swat Valley. And this is why it's so important what's happening out there right now, and moved up and went into Tibet and tamed the elements. Now, remember in Shintoism, we talked about nature has these kami, these non-corporeal essences and presence about what's out there, whether it's in a rock, in anything in nature, right? Anything, a prairie, a mountain, anything can be a kami. Well, it was the same thing in Tibet. So Padmasambhava, who is, be known as the beloved teacher of Tibet, Guru Rinpoche, he tames these spirits and everything, and it's said basically that he tames the boon spirits to work with Buddhism, and it becomes something absolutely phenomenal that you can't find anywhere else on this planet, and that's Tibetan Buddhism. Very different from Indian Buddhism, very different from Chinese Buddhism. Some similarity with Mongolian to Buddhism. They share a lot of same things, but very different from Japanese Buddhism. Out of this, something happens, and it's called Dzogchen. And Dzogchen, up until the 90s, there was very little on it. I was really fortunate. I got to study Dzogchen very early in the 80s. And Dzogchen is also known as the Great Completion.